There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SyFy channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean, Fangirl S, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 10, which is the season finale of Killjoys. Wah. I'm so sad.
I'm confused.
I don't want it to be over. Well, that too. But I'm sad because, I liked how they brought a lot of it together.
Right.
But I want more.
Yeah.
I always want more when we have these shows. It's like, but seriously, if it went to a full, what were they, 32 episodes?
Something like that way back
like
when.
How a normal season, yeah. Like I would be stressed out like for a really long time.
Yeah.
But you got some ratings news for us. Why don't you hit me with it?
Episode 10 brought in a 0.10 in adults 18 to 49 with 0.482 million viewers, making the 101st overall cable show for the day. Still around 500,000 viewers, which is pretty good numbers. I don't care where it ends up falling on the overall.
On the weird scale, yeah. And no Life Plus 7 though, huh?
No, not this episode, at least not anything on Killjoys yet. So let's get into Sporemageddon. Anila brings the brothers into green space to defeat the lady. Yeah.
Oh, the lady who we never really get to see who she is.
Nope.
But they do explain that.
Yeah. So let's start out in the quad with, of course, when Dutch gets up off the ground of Pre's bar, it's not Dutch. Hello, boys.
Right. Well, the boys knew right away. Thankfully, they were able to keep Pre from figuring it out.
Yeah.
At least right away.
Yeah. They're able to convince Pre that, Dutch is just very, very, very drunk. Because she even says, that's Pre, the bartender. No, Dutch would never say that.
Right. And oh my God, I love the way Pre is all the time. The bling is amazing.
Yes.
I can't even get my eyeliner on straight. My God. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, his looks are always amazing.
Amazing. He's on point, like beyond.
So they take her to Lucy and head to the Armada. And she explains that the green is a place where a person's memories are their greatest weakness. And once they get on to
which she just knew something bad was going to happen.
Right. On the Armada ship, they pass Turin, and I don't think Anila was faking being Dutch. She was still being Anila.
Right.
But somehow Turin seems to buy it, and they head into the lab. And poor Zeph is still not in the mood for visitors.
Well, we know why.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
Essentially, just a couple hours later, if that much.
Right.
But
and
man,
of course,
Anila
she thinks that it's Dutch. So, yeah, she doesn't want to see Dutch.
Right. But immediately, Anila says, one line, and Zeph's like, hold on.
Yeah, that's not Dutch.
Yeah, it was instant with Zeph.
Yeah.
And then here comes Turin in his big head.
Yeah, he's wanting to arrest Neela for the deaths of the men and women of the Rack. And everybody pulls their guns.
Yeah, so there was a nice little standoff there.
Yeah. And Zeph is getting more pissed by the minute.
Yeah, I don't think Zeph liked all the guns in her lab.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. And of course, Anila's calms her down by telling her how men have to fight for their egos, but it's also for their amusement.
Yeah, that was interesting. The only two people who didn't have any issues and weren't paying attention to Turin were Anila and Zeph.
Right.
Because they're talking the science, and everyone's like, guys, guns over here.
Yeah. No.
Whatever.
We need to talk science.
Right. This is important, guys. Keep holding your guns, whatever. It's like, oh, okay.
Now, of course, Neela has to clear the room, and she tells the boys that she's taken Just Davin into the green because Johnny Favorite is useless. Johnny did not like being called useless.
I don't think he liked being called Johnny Favorite either.
No.
But it makes sense, especially to you and I.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like what I talked about last time with Johnny still having all the feelings for Potter, when Anila said, it takes the worst memories, I'm like, oh, God, no.
Yes.
Right then, it's like that's what just popped to my forefront.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
If he gets into the green, we're seeing Potter again.
Oh, yeah. And like the worst thing just over and over. And that will break him.
Yes.
And so I was like, don't go in, Johnny.
That he's going in to protect his brother. And Anila says...
Yeah, and I love how Anila explains Davin's effect.
Yeah, repulsive effect on the green is how they'll stop the lady. And Johnny goes, oh, you mean the poo face?
That was just great. And I love Dav's like, what the heck, guys? I'm right here. Oh, my God. That was hilarious. I couldn't help. I think I laughed for a good 5 minutes. Because then doesn't he, like, make the face?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, God. Poor Dav.
And then
They kind of wrote that a little different than for him.
yeah, goes over to the green and kind of bends over, and Neela pushes him in.
Boink.
Oh, crap. Things aren't going well on Old Westerly. It all starts with Garrett noticing that Pre has a fever, but Pre just shakes it off. And then we find out it's not just Pre. We learn that Levan, Jenny's daughter, comes and tells Garrett that her mother's ill. And Garrett goes and gets her and brings her to the Royale. Now, of course, with all this, Zeph comes down from the Armada ship and gives Pre a checkup and sees that he's also sick. And also looks at Jenny, who swears like Pre she's fine. Yeah, right. You don't look fine.
Isn't that usually what people do? They're like, nah, it's fine. No big deal.
Right. So, of course, Garrett asks her to check on the others, and she goes, what others? Oh, let me get them, which is damn near the whole town. So, of course.
And right when they showed that, and all the kids were there, I'm like, oh my God, what
Yes.
did that damn Hullen do?
Exactly. So, of course, after doing some tests, Zeph realized it's the kids they saved that brought the virus to Westerly. You go, oh, you
I'm like,
guys
they
have...
made them bioweapons.
Right. And you go, that is one sick thing.
Oh,
I'm not
God,
even going to
I
call
was
it a lady.
ticked. I was ticked. I mean, I couldn't believe that. And I'm like, oh my God, now what's going to happen to the kids too?
Right.
Because all we see are the adults getting sick. And then you suddenly see Ginny end up in a coma.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. This can't happen to
No,
Pre. This can't happen to Pre. No, no, no.
I know. I'm like, no, not Pre.
Yeah. So, of course, Zeph conveys this information to Turin as she starts looking for a cure. And, of course, Turin reaches out to the Koresh for assistance.
Oh, yeah. They were just a bundle of joy.
Yeah. The Koresh representative shows up and Turin makes a plea for him for supplies. Not gonna happen.
No, that's not why they were
We
there.
have plenty of nukes. We'll just blow Westerly apart. We just eliminate the problem easily. No.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
I was freaking shocked. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted Dulcea to come busting in for some reason and be like, yeah, that's not happening.
right.
Something, because that just pissed me off to no end.
And fortunately, Zeph gets a hold of Turin and tells him has a cure. And of course, we go back down there and she's about to inject it on herself because, like everybody else, she's not feeling too well either.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that's a good idea either.
No. And Pre stops her and convinces her that you need to try it on him.
Oh my gosh. But then when she lets out with everything that she said and Pre just giving like this amazing, it wasn't even like a long speech or anything.
No,
but this advice, I was in tears. I'm going to admit it. Like I wasn't even holding back because I'm like, I need Pre at my job every day to tell me good, positive things, even if it hurts.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Thomas Allen. Loving him right now.
Yes. So, of course, this allows Turin to get the Koresh to hold off on the nukes, but then we find out that Pre's lost his memory as Garrett comes up and Pre doesn't know who he is.
Oh my God, I was pissed.
Oh, yes. And then the little girl comes up to her mom who doesn't know who she is. And you go, oh no, the lady is taking memories.
And I was thinking at first it was the Cure was wiping their memories somehow.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't look that way.
No, not at all. So we head into the green space, and of course, Dav wakes up and is back to the time when he fought Dutch and ran out to find the real one and Johnny. And
oh my God, that fight!
Battle, that fight was something else.
That was great, though.
Oh yeah, it was awesome scene, but tough seeing it a second time.
Yeah.
And of course, Johnny wakes up. And he's right back to where he was when Dulcea takes Potter out.
Oh my God. And my heart broke again.
Yeah. But this time he saves her and they head out into the alley. And she's telling Johnny that he could stay with her forever. And the fake Potter, aka the lady, tries to talk him into staying.
But he knew it wasn't real.
Right.
So the fact that he knew this and he says that, he's like, I didn't save you.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, it just keeps twisting the knife.
Right. Now, of course, we go back to Davin, who has found Dutch, and at least they get verification that, yes, they are each other.
I don't know how that actually confirmed it, but it worked.
Right. And of course, they haven't seen Johnny, and Dav knows exactly where to find him. So, of course, he thinks about it, and they're there, and he's able to put his hand on Johnny's shoulder and leads him away.
Oh, my God. And again, crying because what Johnny says.
Yeah.
Because he knew, and with everything, he's just like, Dav, don't let me look back. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Yeah, we have to rip Johnny's heart out again.
And mine.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was painful. I mean, more than most of the season, because when Johnny broke the first time, I think it was really hard on the fandom.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you do this, and it's like, let's just toss some salt in that wound. Maybe you should give us a warning at the beginning. Like, you're going to need tissue and probably alcohol.
Yes. And plenty of both.
Right.
And we cut over to the lady trying to talk to Anila into siding with her using the face of Dulcea.
I thought she was going to punch her.
Oh, yeah. But then all of a sudden, she starts buying what the lady is selling. And you go, what are you doing, Anila?
Exactly.
You can have your family. Like,
I mean, she did say
which family are you talking about? Are you talking about Klein and Dutch, or are you talking about Dulcea and Jack?
Or with Anila, or not Anila, Yelena too.
Right.
Oh, I'm like, oh my God, she's laying it on thick. What is she going to do? Because we already know Anila's a little broken.
Yes.
And yeah, it seemed like she was, okay, this is it. We're going this way. And when our little group gets there and Anila tells them that, like, my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
I wow. Like, I'm stuttering because I am still that moment when it happened, even though she looks at Dutch and says, remember, you were here, you mattered.
Right.
You said that to me once. And I'm like, but what difference does that make?
Right.
Like, you're locking them in the green space. Nobody knows how to get out except you.
Exactly. And you really get, this is not going to end well at all.
No. no, I totally on board with you.
Because we had already seen as they got into the ruins, shall we call them, Dav hears Jack calling. And so he just takes off without Dutch or Johnny. And of course, when they get down, he's on his knees with the lady's hand in his head.
Yeah.
And it's like, Davin, you fell into the trap. The only way you were going to be able to beat her was to surprise her. But of course,
apparently he didn't make his poo face fast enough.
No, not fast enough. And of course, the more you think about it, you go, okay, if the lady has all of Anila's and all of Dutch's memories, yeah, they erased the memory of Jack where he was located, but not that he existed.
Right.
So of course, they play with Johnny and Potter, and she uses Jack to get Davin off his game. And now she's convinced Anila to go the other side. And it's like, oh no.
I'm like, this is the worst cliffhanger ever.
Right. But all of a sudden Dutch goes, oh, now I know. She had been there before. And because remembering something allows them to be there, she remembers Yelena and the spore, and all of a sudden it's in her hand.
But, I mean, like, is that really going to work? I'm just thinking, I don't understand that.
Right.
Because, but you need the actual spore because Dutch doesn't know the science behind it?
Right. You would think, but I don't know. We don't know completely how this existence works. So, of course, Dutch puts the spore in the green and they all run for it.
Because, hey, it worked.
Yeah. It seems
something was working.
Blowing the place up.
Right. And I loved it because Anila just turns around because the lady's like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, just what I needed to happen. It's like,
yeah.
I really didn't believe up until this. I was not sure Anila was still on our side.
Right. And as soon as the gang gets out of the ruins, they see Anila on the ground. They grab her and they run for it. And as the camera pulls back, we see the real Anila unconscious against a tree. You go,
which was interesting because where are we running to? Because Anila is the only one that can get you out. Again, how are you going to fake it if you don't know how to get him out?
Right. But apparently she figured it out how to get out. I'm not sure how, but she did. Because she knew that get out of here. And then was Anila comes to and sees that everything is crumbling around her. She says, Papa, and there's Klein behind her.
Right. Which was a little creepy, but.
Or was it?
I was a little creeped out.
Right. But it's one of those no body, no dead. So it's very possible that Anila and Klein both made it out of the green before it disintegrated or whatever it did.
Now that's interesting because we don't know where another green pool would be.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, of course, we're back on the Armada and we see Dutch, Johnny, and Davin out of the green. We see it change color to where it's no longer that puke green.
Right. It just looked like water.
Right. And you see Dutch looking into it and saying Anila's still in it. And then she has to put her hand in the water.
Right. I think it was like just to make sure that it really was water and not the green anymore.
Okay, maybe. Or just hoping that Anila might reach her hand through. Well, somebody reached her hand and it wasn't Anila.
We didn't see who it was, though.
No, we didn't.
What if it is Anila?
That would be very interesting.
See, all right. I was thinking it was Anila because that somehow Klein was like pushing her out.
Okay.
Because then with the next scene that happened, I was thinking that the lady got out a different way.
Okay.
But
still very
could be wrong.
Yeah, but it's also, you could be right.
I know, it's so weird. This one is weird the way it ended.
Oh, yeah. Because all of a sudden we're back in Old Town and Dutch and Johnny are in bed.
Okay, That's why I was thinking Anila did get out, because I was thinking somehow Anila and Johnny were getting together. Because I'm like, there's no way it'd be Dutch. Why would Dutch be with Johnny?
Right.
And then it got weirder.
Yeah, because he calls her Elena, and apparently they're married and own the Royal. Johnny is leaving to go to work at the plant where he works with Garrett. They walk by Turin, who's just about as down and out as you can get.
Yeah, he's just like a street vendor.
Yeah, and sure doesn't like Johnny.
No.
And then we run into Davin, who seems to be a killjoy, but doesn't know Johnny from Adam. And he also has a warrant for none other than his own son, Jack.
And I'm like, what in the hell is happening?
Yeah. And we see the plant, and there's green smog flowing from it.
And
so
then
did we really kill the green or not?
Right. And then one of the kids, when they kind of pan away while you're hearing this voiceover happen, you see this kid and just like this creepy smile.
Yeah. So you figure that's got to be the lady is in that small child, and it don't sound like she's going to be letting go anytime soon.
Yeah, because apparently we have Dutch telling a story. That's the voiceover about what Klein her father told her. Because at this point, she's not saying Klein.
No.
So he doesn't know what she knows.
Right.
About kids leaving breadcrumbs to always find their way home. And then you get that creepy smile, and it seems like the lady has taken over everybody.
Right.
So she wiped the people, is what it seems, to get into them. That's why I was thinking, because she didn't have a physical form, which she does say in the green that her people haven't had a physical form in millennia.
Right. And she was the last one of her kind.
So she wipes everybody to do whatever and mix up memories and do whatever she wants. And maybe she wiped all the kids, and basically everybody who she didn't already wipe, like our little Scooby gang, she ended up mixing up their memories at the end.
Right. Now, of course, let's see. No, the kids never got to Turin on the Armada, but yet we see him on as a street vendor, and you go, because I was trying to figure out, okay, who all had contact with the kids that would lose their memory.
But didn't he have contact with Garrett? Because Garrett was with the kids, and he didn't know what was happening to him, remember?
I don't know if he actually, after contacting the kids, I guess they did both. Well, no, because once they got the kids, they took them straight to Westerly. And I don't think we actually saw them back on the Armada, or did we?
I don't know if we've seen him on there. That's why I'm wondering, though.
Because I'm sure that the lady could have also done the same thing in the green, which would have gotten Johnny, Davin, Dutch. So, yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see how the Killjoy Writers Room writes their way out of this one.
Yeah, this should be interesting. So, I don't know. This was crazy because,
absolutely,
we're not 100% sure. But at least we know we're getting another season to wrap this all up.
Right.
Unlike Dark Matter.
Yes.
Which one of our co-hosts finally got into and was really ticked at me that I didn't tell her it ended abruptly.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get an earful tomorrow, by the way.
Sorry, Jess.
Hey, Steve, is there any feedback for this crazy finale?
Oh, absolutely there is. Fred could not miss the opportunity to give us some feedback on this insane finale. So let's take a listen.
Hello, Sean and Steve. This is Fred from the Netherlands with some feedback for the final episode of season 4 of Killjoys. And I'm speechless. That's clear. Very nice episode. And so episode 10. And I will give you my impression about this episode.
That was the end of the season, and how fast did it go? And now we have to wait for a long, long time again.
And I'm so happy that we already know there will be a 5th season, and that will be the end of the whole series. So we get a closure. So it's different to look at this kind of season finale when you compare that to, if you don't know, there will be a follow-up and you be stuck with a very unpleasant cliffhanger.
What I found very, very nice in this episode is how Hannah John Kamen played Anila so differently from Dutch. And you actually, in the very first scene where she says, "Hello, boys, miss me," you immediately see that's her. Of course, we do know after the switch that it's her, but you really can see it in the acting of Hannah. And, well, she's getting to the Maslany level in this. Very, very well played. Dulcea as the lady was a very nice one. As you know, I do like Dulcea Kendry in her role. And yeah, she came back here. I had the impression she had some darker eyes to make her look a little more evil. And I really wonder if this lady is just a memory. She takes all the corporeal forms of the people you know. So who is she actually herself? And why is she called, I already discussed this before, the lady? What makes her a woman if she can take the form of any person from your memory? Why is it the lady? You also here see the name of Anila Kenrit. Turin is actually saying when he is going to shoot her, he's saying Anila Kenrit, whereas Dutch is Jelena Jardine. I really think her mother is the Jardine family and the Kenrit family is Client's family. So the Kenrit family is Client's family. Very funny was the standoff with Turin, Johnny and Davin pointing at each other. And at the same time, Anila and Zeph are just discussing science. And they say, men need to fight. It gives them meaning and us entertainment. And Zeph says, well, I'm not entertained. Of course, also like to see Porter back. A very nice touchy scene with very nice close-ups. I think there were a lot of very nice close-ups of Anila, of Dutch, of Dulcea, of Porter, but also of the guys, John and Evan, and even of Turin, especially in the last scene where with the long hair, he says asshole when Johnny walks by. Very nice. And the last scene was the lunch Dutch brought for Johnny. I recognized that from India. I stayed half a year. I lived half the year in India. And these were the lunch boxes they have there to put warm food in it. So it was very recognizable for me from India. I don't know if they use them anywhere else in the world. Here in Holland, you never see them. Of course, after the switch, after the hand of possibly Anila, but we're not sure, came out of the water because it's not green anymore, we got a whole switch to another world. And of course, we all have to wonder what it is. It looks post-apocalyptic, Old Town. On the other hand, how can you get Old Town post-apocalyptic? Of course, it's already post-apocalyptic.
Okay, Sean and Steve, this is Fanboy F, your special reporter from the Netherlands, saying goodbye for this season of Killjoys, and looking forward to meet you again in, let's say, 10 months, 9-10 months, for the last season of Killjoys. And for the time in between, well, you just have to pick a nice series, which I also like, and I will get back for feedback. Greetings, all the best. Fred from the Netherlands, aka Fanboy F, special reporter for the Fangirl Zone.
Speechless is an understatement, Fred.
And yes, I think we're glad too that we know we're getting a final season. Definitely better to know than not know, kind of like Dark Matter, where we were just left on this horrible cliffhanger.
Yeah, very similar to this one, actually.
But you know what? The way this one ended, I don't know. It may not have been quite as bad.
True.
But still, I'm glad we know we're getting more.
Yes. And that we will at least get a proper closure to the series.
Right. And as Anila and Dutch being played, of course, by the same actress and how different she played them, I do think she was amazing. I don't know if she's Tatiana's level just yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Maybe if we throw in a whole bunch more characters.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they would have to clone her a couple more times.
Right.
But yeah, no, Hannah's an amazing actress. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, for Sean and I, Tatiana is the pinnacle almost.
Yeah, because she played so many characters and they were all so different. And yeah, but I do like how she played them so different.
Right.
And let's see, Dulcea was back just for you, Fred.
Yeah.
Even though she was the evil lady. I didn't notice if her eyes were darker. I just didn't pay attention to that. So if you say they were darker to show the evil, which I think we've established in other shows, like black eyes pretty much means evil or possessed or something.
Right.
I just may not have caught it.
Yeah. And we're with you. We don't really know why they call her the lady, because she is able to take form of anybody, be it male or female.
See, I kind of thought, like, I don't know, they called her the lady because she's creating things in there.
Could be.
And plus, I mean, you call ships women and cars. And so I think it's more of a default thing, really.
Could be.
I mean, that's just me. But yes, I think she is just memory and she can pull from anyone.
Right. Yeah.
To really screw with your head, because that Potter part, oh my gosh.
Yes. You knew it was very possible that Johnny was going to get drug in and there was no saving him.
No. I was like, don't do it.
Yeah. She was saying, stay with me. We can have everything we ever wanted together. And it was like, oh no. Ow, 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 ow.
Right. Definitely salt in the wound.
Yes. And yeah, I think we have to agree with you that with Turin calling Anila Kenrit and Dutch being a Yardine, that Kenrit must be Klein's last name and Yardine's got to be Anila's mom's last name.
I'm still confused with that whole thing.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you for being our special correspondent. And as far as new shows go, I mean, there's a bunch coming, and we hope you're going to like some of them and hang out with us.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, some of the good ones coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. You really need to get into Magicians. It's awesome.
It is. And I just read the first book. I just finished the first one. Yay!
Oh, yes. Very good.
That only took me forever. And I have the second one.
Yep. The standoff with Johnny, Davin, and Turin, that was awesome, because you didn't know if anybody was going to be stupid enough to pull the trigger. And of course, you got the girls just having a nice little chat.
I loved how they just totally ignored the guys.
Right. Instead of saying, I'm not entertained.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see next season how it all turns out, especially the way the finale was. So I guess we'll just all have to wait and see, Fred.
Right.
And maybe they'll explain the lady a little bit more.
Right. And it's awesome that you were able to recognize the lunchbox, having lived in India for half a year. That's pretty awesome, because I had no clue.
No, neither did I.
Yeah, Old Town doesn't look much different, but boy, everybody else is in a completely different place, which is kind of like the Magicians ended up.
So weird.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully it won't be another 8 months before we hear from you again. At least we're keeping our fingers crossed that one of these new shows will catch your fancy. So, but in case they don't, we do appreciate everything you've done for us this year on both Killjoys and Winona Earp. We really appreciate your feedback, Fred.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Fred. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about like how this ended? And do you think they will be able to wrap it all up and bring it around for a really satisfying ending? Because right now, I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah, this is going to be tough to do in 10 episodes. It sure seems like.
I guess we'll find out.
It'll be balls to the walls.
Right. So let us know what you think at SyFy Talk at fangirlzone.com. Check out our Facebook and Twitter and everything. You can go to the website, www.fangirlzone.com, and you can see everywhere we are, and you can let us know what you think on every platform. And I really need some explanation. So who do you think it is that is coming out? And do you think Klein was somehow going to be made flesh then if he got out too? Because there's an interesting one.
Right.
The more I think about it, the the more confused I am.
Yeah.
So while you're at it, please rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends so they can get mad at you and be confused too. And we hope you're enjoying the podcast. And for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I'm Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Oh, sweetheart, you don't. Life isn't about getting over or letting go, just moving ahead, because there's nothing behind you but shadows.
And until next time.